So that wonderful person that Nick is referring to is not me. Uh,
The end of the table, Mike.
but we are very honored and lucky to have Sue Flucke, who is the director of our coaching division here at West USA. Sue, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you
Hey.
being here.
It's always a pleasure, especially in this company. I can't tell you how many wonderful people are in this company, including sitting at this table. It's my honor
All right. Well,
and
thank you.
privilege.
Ditto.
So you really did hit it on the head with what you started out with. You and Todd and even Matt were so good at bringing what I wanted to say. You really have to develop, and a lot of the top producers have already done that, but they're also evolving. They're very specific and ongoing concrete actions that truly connect you with who you want to be for, right? Past clients, that's the top producers. They're really focusing on those past clients. But they also, just like Mike said, you've got to work with potential people. You've got to connect with them and, yes, your neighborhood. Yes, people are more into the texting and the calling, but at least twice a month you should be connecting with people in a way that's what's the local activities going on in your neighborhood or your local businesses, new businesses opening up. They really want to know that. What is something of value that you could bring instead of, do you know anybody looking to buy or sell?
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's asking that, and people get tired of that. They want to know what's going on. What's that building going up on the corner of my neighborhood? What is that? Right?
When I'm governor of Arizona, that is going to be my very first executive order. By law, if you put up a chain link fence and you're about to build construction, there better be a sign to let me know what's coming.
Amen.
That is my pet peeve. Like they'll start building something. I'm like, oh man, I remember this was down in Goodyear. I was so excited. And finally it went up and they put up a sign like 3-4 months into it, and it was like jewelry shop. And I'm like, well, I don't need more jewelry.
Well, usually the first sign is the construction company building it, which really is one of my pet peeves. I want to know what are you building?
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
And even before that, when the yellow or the orange or the white sign goes up, which is what's called yellow sign or orangesign.com.
Yeah.
and you basically go to orangesign.com because it's a public notice, right? And it tells you what the hearing that's coming up is going to be about. That's the time to go find out. You can find this stuff out 18 months before that other sign goes up.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But you should know what's going on and be the one that's saying what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Your signature when you email people tells them that you're in real estate, or it should.
Yep.
It shouldn't just be Sue Fluke. It says what I do. But I'm giving them something of value, and I'm doing it at least twice a month. In my neighborhood, you want to do a monthly market update. Everybody, I don't care if they just bought their house, they want to know what's going on. And you should be doing that at least once a month, and then at least annually doing a CMA. Ask them if they want it more often than that. But at least annually, here's what your house is worth. Everybody wants to know that, even if it's going to be 7 years from now when they sell their house.
So kind of back on point one, I love this, having concrete actions, and for us on our team, we call it systems. Everything
Right.
has a system. If some activity in real estate occurs, this is the system, and our favorite system is, we call it our ATC, our after the close system.
Right.
So when I hand buyers the keys, what happens over the next 12 months, and when you're talking about past clients, and I was talking about who are you for, who do you want to work with. If I've had a great, if you and your husband, were my clients, and we had a great experience, chances are I'm probably going to like your friends, and I'm probably going to like the people that you will introduce me to, but I have to have a concrete action in place. How do I get to know your family and your friends?
I can't tell you how often even top producers think, man, I wish I had this when I first got started. Even an Excel spreadsheet is better than nothing. And I'm telling everyone, start now. Build your business with, who do you know? Who do you want? I have friends that they know people or they work for companies that those people are moving people in. Get to know your peeps in a way, and then it isn't just getting to know them. Stay in touch. You've got to reach out at least twice a month. Concrete actions. And then I walked my neighborhood. I still know my neighbors. They knew me. I was next door before next door. But putting my face, and I always had my name tag on or apparel that had my company on it. When you have that on, when you go to the grocery store, you go to the restaurants, you're walking your neighborhood, people know who you are. They trust you because they see your face. I had something in my hand that was something of value. What's going on in the neighborhood? Where's the yard sales going on? Who's doing babysitting? Who's moving in, right? Let's introduce ourselves to the new neighbors. I used to take them a fresh loaf of baked banana bread and said, "Hey, welcome to my neighborhood." I did neighborhood activities in the park. You don't have to spend a lot of money, have a potluck, but invite your neighbors at least twice a year to something. And that way the neighbors also know, hey, you're thinking about moving? I know a great person, she's always available or he's always available. You've got to have your face out there.
Yeah, yeah, and with this, and I like what you said. And this is probably out of all the things that you're going to talk about today, this is probably my personal weakest. I don't really focus on my neighborhood like I should. But back to my 3-pack, it's not necessarily where my target market necessarily is, and I have very specific goals and so forth. So
Sure.
it's
But do
kind of
you
an excuse.
know that your neighbors may know who your target is,
No,
right?
no, I'm telling you this. I'm terrible at this. Okay, and I've tried to justify it, and there's really no justifying it
No, there
because
isn't.
every time, like yesterday, I've been on vacation for a week, was driving home, and there was a new sign around the corner of somebody else. Fortunately, the agent was with West USA, so I'm like, kind of a win. But in the last 18 months, my cross the street neighbor whom they knew what I did and they just chose not to work with me. But you know, they had a sign up. My next door neighbor had a sign up, and none of them were mine. And it hurts. And it's a reminder that you have to do it. So now back to your point, I love having something of value. I think where people get intimidated, I'm going to walk my neighborhood. What am I going to say to people? Put yourself in their shoes. If you weren't an agent, what would you want to know about your neighborhood? Okay, people want to know they first of all have a ton of questions about the real estate market. Be that source of information. I don't know how many conversations I start off with. Well, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on in the market. A lot of people have questions. What question do you have about the real estate market? What's your number one question that you have? It's a conversation starter.
It's always a conversation starter. And then you mentioned you went on vacation, but how many times we even talk about this? Do you like to hike? Do you like to bike? Do you like to
Hobbies and interests. Yeah.
do fitness? Not me, but do you like to quilt? Do you like to sew? Do you like to just take car trips? Have a Facebook group of like interest. I have a private group, and there's about 50 people in that private group of what we all do. It's amazing, and they're all over the country. What's even more amazing to me. But have a Facebook group for like interest. You'll be amazed. Do you like to golf? Do you always golf at this one particular golf center? Then have a private group for just people that like to golf there.
Yeah, so the other piece of this is when I do the market stats, it's because the national news or the syndicated news or the local news that everybody's listening to is national news, typically syndicated regionally, maybe, but rarely is it Arizona news. And then, Tina Tambor, the colleges, U of A, ASU, they do a pretty good job of getting the information out for Arizona state GDP, gross domestic product, how well the economy's going, jobs, all that kind of thing. But nobody's really talking about real estate per se. Sure, Fletcher Wilcox a little bit, myself for sure. And here's the thing: my numbers don't work for your clients. They work for some of them, but know your audience. Here's the thing: if you're trying to work your neighborhood, You need to know the stats that I do for your neighborhood. They call that hyper local. You need to know that those stats for your neighborhood, and then nobody knows them but you, and nobody needs to know them but you, and then you share them. Now you have a value.
Correct. Even on Nextdoor this weekend, somebody said, "Hey, I'm new to this neighborhood." And I said, "Welcome to our neighborhood. I've been here 21 years today. I know my neighborhood. I've probably been there longer than anybody." They need to know that. They need to see that, and they all know that I was in real estate, right? That's what I'm talking about, of knowing your neighborhood. And when you're new, Todd posts slides of those market stats. Take one of those slides and use that, even if that's what you're carrying to walk your neighborhood and get to know your neighborhood, right? Because again, they're listening to the national news.
So two things on this. Most of us are only aware of the Flex ARMLS and where we go on, but there's another website and that the MLS puts out, and we use this all the time because you can zero this down to people's zip codes.
Correct.
It has some of, I think, the best data out there, and you log on to that and you can do just by zip codes and send if you in your neighborhood, you can let them know specifically how your zip code has been performing over the last 10 years and how it's performed over the last 12 months. So dig deep. And then the second thing is, I do agree, and I have one. I haven't used it much, but everyone in your neighborhood, I'm a believer, you should have your own closed Facebook group. It doesn't matter if there's, because I'll hear, well, this other agent, there's 1,500 homes in my neighborhood, and this other agent's got a Facebook group, and 1,250 neighbors already belong to it. Okay, narrow it down even further. You don't necessarily need to have everybody, but you need to have some people, and then again, provide that things of value.
Right. Even if it's 2 blocks around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just do that. But having that personal touch, people know, they're just going to remember that, hey, you care about your neighborhood too, right?
Hey, Mikey, real quick, you touched on a different website for zip code data. We got a lot of people asking which that website is.
Go ahead.
I think it's armls.com, or is it it's armls.com.
Right. And
it's not Flex.
I use iFound Agent, and I drew an actual map around my neighborhood. So once a month, I get my own neighborhood in a market update, and I've added people into there. So that's when you're talking about being very specific, drawing a map around where you want that market update to be. That's what you're asking.
So I believe it's armls.com. So not the Flex, and you can just dig, you can drill deep. All right, let's talk about
one last thing.
Yeah.
Open houses.
Well, here it is.
I'm telling you, you've got to double the information right now you've got. Instead of just doing the house on one side, take what Matt said on the back side, put rates, put rate buy downs, put what he was talking about is so critical for people. Payment information, how much can I afford? That's what I call double your information on an open house. When someone comes into your open house, what's the first thing you know about them? They're looking. They may be a neighbor, but they're looking. It could be someone not in that neighborhood, and now you know they're looking in that neighborhood. So you've already got some information about them. Give them the information they need. So open houses is a great way to do this, and you're getting people that are in the market, whether they're in the market now or they're just looky-loos.
Okay, so let's drill deep into this. So I walk into an open house. What information would I want from that agent? Okay, you have a flyer that tells you how much the house is going for. The flyer is going to have how many bedrooms and bathrooms and square footage. So blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking a couple things that I'd want to know. I'd want to know what else is going on and what other homes in the neighborhood would be for sale.
Correct.
So I would have a binder or have something with here are the other. And I'm a fan of, listen, if you don't have another agent with you at the open house and somebody wants to go look at homes, you shut down that open house and go look.
And go look right then.
Don't set an appointment.
No.
Go look right then. The other thing is I would want to know specific things about the neighborhood. So this is why I believe, you need to you need to invite the neighbors to your open house. You need to knock on the doors. And that's a great conversation to start. Hey, my name is Mike. As you know, the house around the corner is going up for sale or just went up for sale. I'm doing an open house, and I'm just wanting to learn about the neighborhood. What can you tell me about the neighborhood?
I always had an open, what I call a sneak peek just for the neighbors,
So did I.
30 minutes ahead of time. And I'd say, what do you like about the neighborhood? What do you not like about the neighborhood?
Why did you move here?
Why did you move here? Right?
Why are you still here?
Why are you still there?
At
Yeah.
21 years later here, I'm still here because I love this neighborhood, right? And that's where you really find out about the neighborhood. And you should be doing that on every neighborhood you're doing an open house for. Get to know that neighborhood.
Because you're wanting to have, if somebody comes into the open house, you're wanting to have conversations with them, not just, hey, sign in and here's your flyer, and hopefully,
Right.
you have something to talk about.
That's right.
That's why we used to go into Party City and buy some of those little gold kids rings, and we'd take the little ring part off the back and put some double back, what do they call it, fun tack stuff on there. And we go around to every option, every what am I thinking of? Every improvement,
Upgrade.
Upgrade. Thank you. Every upgrade in that house, everything from porcelain over steel over cast iron sinks to roll-out cabinets to 75-gallon hot water heaters, cantilever doors, solid wood doors, 6-panel doors, whatever the feature was, and it would get people to stop and they'd look at it and they go, "Why is that an upgrade?" Well, wait a minute. Isn't that why I'm there? It's to have them raise questions, because if you think about a new home construction model that's for sale, go learn from them. Go take a Susan Hyland class. Go learn why they do what they do. And everything is to build value. And when people find that they've got enough value from the options and the amenities and the upgrades in the home, they want to buy it. It builds
That's actually part of my thing too, is know your inventory, not just the home that you're doing or selling, but the new home construction. Have a meeting with the superintendent. Have them explain why they do certain things. What plants are they using? Because there's a lot of people moving here from out of state that have not a clue what that plant is or how to take care of it or what not to plant, right? There's a lot of information you can gather from these new homes. You have to know your inventory, and that includes new home construction. Every time a house goes on the market, you should be the first one in there previewing that house. You've got to know what your market and your inventory is doing. That's, if you're a new agent, I can't tell you how important that is, especially.
Hey, I just want to throw a shout out to Fred and Rosemary Newman. For years and years and years, Ultimate New Home Information Search has been the pinnacle leading search. And for a while, they just weren't getting the dollar volume out of the Armless relationship. They pulled back, went and continued doing it on themselves, and basically allowed R.L. Brown and New Home Source Pro to fail on their own. Now that they have, Armless just brought them back. It's only been within the last 6 months or so, but you now have a new home search available to you for free, included in your MLS dues. And go into products and look for Ultimate New Home Search. Click on that button. It's free to sign up. It's free to use. It's just like the MLS, but for new homes, the difference is don't put too much information in. The more you put in, the harder it is to find the right house for them. Start off by just location or sale price and square footage. Just use those 3 things, and then whittle after that.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so last thing I'm going to say about open house, but it kind of goes back to point number 1, Sue, is just having a plan of action, so everything has a system. I would never. I mean, I guess if I've got nothing better to do on Saturday morning, I might Friday night go, I think I'll do an open house. But to properly do an open house takes a week of planning.
At least a week, because you want to get you've got to get the information. You want to visit. If it's not your open house, visit with the listing agent. What's the best parts of this house that I need to be really focusing on when people walk into that house? Because you still represent the seller. You're representing West USA, but also what are the really features that the homeowner wants to feature, right? Everybody's going to ask, why are they selling? Am I okay to share that? Maybe not, but maybe so, right? So ask the listing agent. If the seller's there, talk to them. Just be very specific about that house. You're there also to help who's walking in the door. Then I want you to relationship build with businesses in your area. Those businesses need you and you need them. What's the best part about their business? How can you help each other? And it's not just the grocery store. It is the restaurants. It's the nail technicians. Yeah. It's the hair barbers. It's the nursery down the street. It's the child care center that's down the street. It's everything in that area. Learn and build a relationship with that business.
Love
it.
Yeah, and going back to then, if you're building a closed Facebook group for your neighborhood, that's just a great opportunity. You become the hero.
You do, and you highlight that business.
Right.
Even if it's once a week in that Facebook where you're highlighting that particular business, that do a video with the business owner. They will love you.
Oh my God.
And they'll refer people to you because you are going to be that expert in their area.
Yeah, we have one of our team members. She's up in the White Mountains, so she did this and she created this closed Facebook group. I think it's called Living in the White Mountains, and she's gotten a ton of traction. But she does that. She goes and she does a video. She interviews business owners and so forth. These business owners love her.
They do, and they will refer to you.
They'll even allow you. Well, it depends. You have to ask. But sometimes on the back of your open house flyer, you can put a coupon for that business.
Absolutely.
Or a couple of those businesses. You can go around a little ahead of time and do that. But here's the dual relationship. Never let that coupon be something they're already doing. It has to be a unique discount so that when somebody comes in and asks for it, they realize it was your open house flyer that caused that.
Right.
And the other piece of that is, make sure that you go back afterwards too and rekindle and keep those relationships. They'll even let you put flyers there.
The businesses, I would say, is there something in a welcome basket I can put that's from your business for people moving into my neighborhood? Because they don't know that you're here. And there used to be a welcome committee that would actually welcome
I got so many ideas.
Right? You've got to do this for people moving in here because there's a lot of people still moving in.
So when a new business moves in, go meet with them, find out what that value is, and go knock on every door.
There you go.
And invite them to your closed Facebook group.
Exactly.
Right. Yep. What's that called?
That's the whole.
It's going to be a new system.
About learning the inventory more than just visiting the MLS. There's going to be for sale by owners, what Todd was talking about, those new home builds. Go to the local nursery and really learn about the plants. I'm just telling you, if you know your inventory, you are the expert in the neighborhood, and not everything is in the MLS.
Yep.
So,
well, I put this up here because I have the safe search. So it stands for active single family dwellings in Maricopa. And I know, Todd, every Monday morning you go through the stats, but every Monday morning I look at this search because this is a conversation piece. Because I'll say to people, I'll go, well, do you know how many homes are available? And sometimes they'll know, oh, there's 15, 16, 18, 20,000. I said, and going back to my target market is somebody looking to buy in Maricopa County, not Sedona, not Flagstaff, a single family dwelling. And so as of this morning, single family dwellings in Maricopa County active, 8,374. Yep. It's staggering, but it's a conversation starter.
It's a great conversation starter. So if you are struggling, if you are wanting more information, give me a call. Our coaches, we have such phenomenal coaches in every single office that are there to help you, to get you started. If you're struggling, maybe you're stuck, they're there to help you get unstuck. That's what we're here for, is to help you build your business.
And that first business plan, Mike and Sue, that we always talk about is at no charge. I mean, you can actually reach out to Sue if you want, or you should be reaching out to your office manager, and then they'll put you in connection with someone. But you can reach out to Sue. That first 30 minutes or 1 hour conversation that you have with the coach as they fill out that Excel business planning spreadsheet for you, so you know Mike's number 1 point on the 3-pack, exactly who your target is and how many people you have to talk to. It's free. Go. I don't know why we wouldn't do that. Talk to
your office manager. Talk to me. We are here. That first meeting is so critical for you. And then every year you should be doing that same thing. So.
Yeah, and it just kind of goes back to my question I went over with the 3-pack. Do you like money? People go, well, yeah, I don't want to join the coaching program, or I don't want to join the team because I don't want to pay a split. So what you're telling me is you don't like money, because the coaching program is specifically designed to first of all, move up your first closing. You're going to close your first couple deals exponentially quicker than you would if you just tried this on your own. And you're going to close more deals, and you're going to make more money. There is a cost to education. There's always a cost to education.
It's either coming out of your bank account or somebody else's.
Yeah. And Nick, I'm no math major, but 0 plus 0 equals
0.
0
every time.
every time.
All right. Well, there is Sue's email address and the West USA phone number up there. Some great information. Sue, always enjoy having you on.
Thank you.
So now I
Thank
gotta.
you, Sue.
I just need an agent that lives by me and will dominate the neighborhood. So I live at Tatum and Bell. So if any of you want to,
Maybe name Mike Weinstein.
I just need somebody.
Mike Weinstein 2.
But anyways, appreciate it, and appreciate everybody joining us today. Leave you with the quote of the day from Eleanor Roosevelt: learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself. I'm giving it an effort, though. I'm doing pretty good on it. All right, appreciate everybody joining us today. Go out and sell a home.